Coming up on Sports Final, plenty of lacrosse on the way for both Cornell and Ithaca. Also, we hit the diamond for baseball and softball action. All this and more right now on Sports Final.
Good evening. Welcome to Sports Final here on ICTV. Michael Pollack alongside Josh Canoe. Josh, big weekend for Bombers softball.
Absolutely right, Mike. But first, let's take a look at Ithaca men's lacrosse. The fourth-ranked Ithaca men's lacrosse team played their regular season home finale yesterday afternoon against Empire 8 foe Hartwick. The 12-1 Bombers look to maintain their lead atop the Empire 8 before their season finale at Stevens Institute of Technology next weekend. Ithaca learned that freshman attack Tom Mongelli has broken his wrist and he will be unable to go in this one. But first, let's take a look at some of the graduating seniors on the Ithaca roster. Kevin Bush, a midfielder, has tallied 76 goals, 5 which have been game winners in his impressive career. Neth Wiedemann, a defensive star, may not fill the stat sheet, but his services have not gone unrecognized. He has scooped up a remarkable 262 ground balls over the course of his career. And Alex Seifert, the point leader this season, will also be missed for his services. We head down to the field now. Second quarter action, 3-2 Hartwick lead. Nick Heckman finds Jay Lucas for the goal. Then a minute later, Lucas, nice spin move here. He scores again. Bombers take the 4-3 lead. Hartwick now trying to answer. Tom Sabrowski knots the game up at 4 with a nice goal here. And we head to the third quarter action now. Chris Carmen of IC hooks up with Lucas again, who finishes off that hat trick. 7-4 Ithaca at this point. Fourth quarter now, 7-5 Bombers. Mike Morrison going to make a play here for Hartwick and score. Gets the Hawks within 2. 4 minutes later, Hartwick again. Some good passing. Alex Giovinazzo ends up with it, and he finds the back of the net. 7-7 at this point. We head to overtime. Nick Heckman now attempting the wraparound to try to win this one, but he misses the net. He's not happy. His teammates surprised, but he will get another chance, and here it is. Trying it again, coming around the net. This time he scores the game winner. IC wins by a score of 8-7 and avoids the scare. We'll now toss it over to Greg Thompson with more.
A game many expected to be a blowout Saturday turned into a back-and-forth thriller that saw the Bombers overcome an early deficit and a late Hartwick rally to come away with the overtime victory. While the Bombers looked slow and out of sync at times, they were able to pull out the gritty W, something junior midfielder Nick Heckman knows, says just as much about the team's talent as their play.
It's huge. I mean, it's a grass field. Not a lot of teams play on grass, so that's an advantage for us. And our fan base is huge here, so it's great. It's a big turnout for the crowd like today, and probably bigger for the tournament. So,
victory clinches a spot in the Empire 8 playoffs for the fourth-ranked Bombers, who have won the last 3 conference championships. And with this much skill and potential on the 09 Ithaca squad, senior defenseman Neth Wiedemann believes their work has just begun.
It's nice. It's nice to know that you know we're in the tournament, but you know we still have work to do. We still got a game next weekend, a huge game going out into Stevens, and that's for home field advantage, which is even more important. So it's nice to know that we're in the tournament, but you know there's still some unfinished business.
Just as important, a win next week over Stevens will give the Bombers home field throughout the E8 tournament. A sizable advantage considering Ithaca has not lost at the Upper Terrace field since early April last year.
it's a good test. I mean, we persevered, and that's a sign of a great champion and great winners. Got to do anything to win, so it's great.
The Bombers will finish up their regular season next Saturday when they take on the Ducks in Hoboken, New Jersey. At Upper Terrace Field, I'm Greg Thompson, Sports Final.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. Over on the East Hill, Cornell softball sought to get back on track this weekend after getting swept by Syracuse in a doubleheader on Wednesday. The Big Red were in both games, dropping the first contest 3-0 and the back end 8-zip. Cornell won all 4 games last season against the Lions, scoring 10 or more times in 3 of the games. So would Cornell find the same luck again this year? Well, the Big Reds split their first twin bill on Saturday, taking the opener 6-0 before dropping the back end 8-2. First baseman Ashley Garvey was 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs in the win. Elizabeth Dalrymple threw a complete game 2-hitter, striking out 15 batters to break the school's single-game strikeout record. Meg Ruzicka was the only bright spot in the loss, going 2 for 3 at the dish and knocking in a run. Allie Tomlinson gave up 8 runs, 7 of which were earned on the mound for the Big Red. And as for this afternoon's double dip, the Big Red took victories in both games, using tremendous offense to compile 8-0 and 14-2 wins, both ending early via the mercy rule. Ashley Garvey had a homer and 3 RBIs in Game 1, and Dalrymple gave up just 2 hits over 5 innings. Game 2 was the Jessie Berkey show, though, as she finished 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. Allie Tomlinson earned the win for the Big Red. Cornell now sits 34-10 on the year, 13-3 in the Ivy League, and unbeaten at home at 10-0.
The Ithaca women's lacrosse team had lost 4 of their last 5 games coming into Saturday's matchup against RIT. The Bombers entered the day 2-3 in the Empire 8 and 5-6 overall. The Tigers of RIT were an impressive 5-0 in the Empire 8 and 10-3 overall. Ithaca needed a win to help improve their standing in the Empire 8. We head to Carpwood Field now for the action. First half already 1-0 RIT. Rebecca Lamson finds Eileen Hennigan for a goal here, giving RIT the early 2-0 lead. Minutes later for IC now, Becky Bedard finds Nicole Borisanok for a goal. 2-1 is the lead now for RIT. Free position shot here for Catherine Hurley. She scores a goal and knots the game at 2. Kylie McClure is going to get a great opportunity here for the Bombers, but she's going to airmail this one. That's kind of how it was all day for the Bombers. Score still 2-2. 4-2 RIT at this point. Kylie McClure picks up a ground ball. She's eventually going to find Catherine Hurley, who's going to make a nice move here, take it to the net, and score, cutting the lead to 4-3. Second half action now for RIT with possession. Danielle Prevy, nice spin move, is going to score a goal here for RIT, and they end up just rolling by a score of 12-7. Only good news for the Bombers, Catherine Hurley had 4 goals. In today's action, the Bombers traveled to Alfred and annihilated the Saxons 19-5. Ithaca jumped out to a 10-3 lead in the first half and then continued their dominance by outscoring Alfred 9-2 in the second half. Junior Lauren Fitzgerald scored a career-high 5 goals in this one. Ithaca is next in action Tuesday at William Smith with game time at 5 p.m. Cornell men's lacrosse team has won 6 of their last 7 games, including a 19-6 shellacking at Dartmouth last Saturday. In that contest, senior midfielder John Glynn registered a career-high 5 goals. Freshman Rob Pennell tallied 2 goals and 4 assists. This set up a highly touted matchup yesterday afternoon between the number 1 ranked Princeton Tigers and the number 5 ranked Cornell Big Red. We take a look at those top 5 rankings now. Princeton in that 1 slot, followed by Virginia, Syracuse, and Maryland, Baltimore County, with Cornell rounding out the top 5. The Big Red were 8-2 entering the day, while the Tigers of Princeton were 10-1. Both teams undefeated in the Ivy League. Let's head down to Shulkop Field now. The site of this one already 1-0 Cornell. Nice job here by Ryan Hurley, staying patient and scoring for the Big Red, giving them an early 2-0 lead in this big game. Second quarter action now, more Cornell. Rocco Romero here is going to find Ryan Hurley. He's going to score again and give the Big Red a 5-2 lead. Third quarter action now, Princeton trails by 3. They need to get something going here as Mark Kovler sprints down the field and he scores, cutting the lead to 2. Fourth quarter though, Big Red up 9-6 now. Chris Finn is going to make a very nice pass here to Max Seabald, who's going to score, give Cornell that 10-6 lead. Later in the fourth, here again for Cornell, Panel is going to find Ryan Hurley. He's going to score again. He finishes with 3 goals on the day. Princeton's going to get 1 more. And the final score, though, for the Big Red, they're going to roll 10-7 in this one.
Cornell fans flocked to Showcoff Field Saturday afternoon for a rivalry that dates back to 1922. The win over the Princeton Tigers marks the first time since 2002 the Big Red have upset a number 1 team. Senior midfielder John Glenn admits this one was more than just your average Ivy League game.
That's our rivalry in the Ivy League, and we knew that we had to win this if we wanted to be in contention for that Ivy League championship, especially with the number 1 team coming into the country after their big wins. So it was huge for us in a lot of different aspects.
Former Cornell midfielder Joe Belucas sent senior co-captain Max Seabald a message earlier this week about playing for the Ivy League title. Seabald shared Joe's message with his seniors Friday night before the game.
This is it. This is the game you will remember for the rest of your life. This is the Ivy League championship on the line. You will never forget this. This is your last opportunity as a senior. He wishes he could have been back and have no regrets. Go out there and play as hard as you can.
The victory over the Tigers gives Coach Tambroni his 93rd win at the helm of the Big Red. But he does admit the prior week's practice was a little rough.
Thursday we came out here in practice and we were just awful. I mean, to be very honest, we were awful on Thursday, and they came out on Friday and they met as a senior class and just talked about the emotions that needed to go into a game like this, and we just felt like that's the one thing that's been missing. You know, when George passed away in 2004, that was a group of guys, everyone on that team, from senior all the way down to freshman, everyone played for a bigger cause.
The message was clear from Cornell today: get back to playing the Boyardi way, blue-collar lacrosse. They roll over Princeton 10-7. Up next for the Big Red, Brown University. Reporting for Sports Final, I'm Stephen Bond.
Step aside, but don't go away. After the break, Josh Getzoff and Chris Barry will be back to drop the gloves in another edition of Hold That Thought. Stay tuned.